Hey everyone, it's Joe. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing something a little bit different. I wanted to talk about a few things that have come up in the journaling community and a few discussion points that a lot of creators have been talking about. So I thought I would give my 2 cents and talk about them too, even though no one asked me. But if you are more interested in the journaling portion of this video, please feel free to mute me and put on your favorite lo-fi hip-hop playlist. Actually, maybe if you don't like that, don't play that, but that's what I recommend to listen to while journaling. But I'm rambling right now. But yeah, feel free to do that. But if you want to listen to me talk about a few different topics that have popped up recently in this community, let's get started, I guess. You can tell that I rarely do this because I don't usually try to talk about things that are happening on the screen, but I digress. So Mitz, actually, from My Life Mitz, released a video about why she journals, and it's a great video in which she talks about minimalism and the reasons why she started journaling and why she continues to journal now. And interestingly enough, James, actually from JLB Creative, also released a video recently about why he journals, and he actually answers the questions that Mitz brings up in her video, and I think it's a really good point of discussion. I really recommend watching both videos. For James's video, you would really need a box of tissues because I bawled my eyes, because hearing his story is just amazing and so inspiring, and I just love how he turned his story in a different direction, and he's where he is today because of what happened. Okay, I don't want to spoil it, but go watch that video. It's really good. And I really enjoyed Mitz's video because she talks about minimalism and why that's kind of something to think about when you're in this community. And she actually references a few other video creators, mainly Bree from Documented Journey. I love her channel. And she also has a video about why she journals, which inspired Mitz. This is like inspiration inception. But in Bree's video, she talks about why she journals, and she kind of begs the viewer the question why we journal, and to kind of step outside of the whole journaling community, art journaling, planner community, whatever community we're called. And she talks about actually examining why we do what we do, and not just focusing on the material aspect of the journaling and journaling community. I hope that makes sense. If I get anything wrong, please just know that it's like 11 p.m. and I'm a little bit loopy right now. But yeah, so Bree's video is really amazing, and she talks about different creators in her video. This is, again, inspiration inception. She mentions a few creators that I also watch. There's John Rush from Planning with John, and John does a lot of content about journaling and planners, and he also talks about stationery low spend and stationery minimalism. And then Anna from Girl and Quill, she's actually, I would say, like the main person who talks about stationery minimalism. I would say she's like the pioneer in this topic, because she really talks about destashing and stationery minimalism. It's kind of self-explanatory. She keeps her stash low, and she gets rid of things that she doesn't need and passes it on to others. But I really enjoy this topic because minimalism is something that I've really been interested in for a few years, and I would say that I'm interested in it for a different reason. So when I was in university, I was very into self-expression, mainly through my clothes. I didn't have an artistic outlet. I would say that I really wanted to be like an IG photographer back then. I really enjoyed posting like street photography, urban photography, fashion photography. I was really into that, and I think a lot of that kind of feeds into Job's Journal, the Instagram page, because I really enjoy documenting my journals in a very aesthetically, I don't want to say like an aesthetically specific way, if that makes sense. Like I really have a vision for what I want photos to look like, if that makes sense. But anyways, we're like going off topic already. But I would say that I was interested in the topic of minimalism because I really enjoyed like minimalism in an aesthetic way. So I really enjoyed like clean lines and just that minimalist look. I was really into getting rid of all color in my wardrobe. I only wore black for like 4 or 5 years of my life, starting in like 2011, I think up until like 2015 or something. Like I was really into like being minimal in terms of my aesthetic and my look. I only owned black, white, and gray. It was an interesting time because I think I wasn't really discussing or talking about the actual root of minimalism and like the actual, I don't want to say ideology, but like the maybe I do want to say ideology. No, well, like just like minimalism as a lifestyle. So owning a few things and only enjoying and having things that bring you joy. So yeah, I was not participating in that when I was younger. I was mainly interested in the aesthetic of minimalism. And obviously there's like minimalism in art and music, and there's like minimalism with a capital M, and that's all like stuff that we are not going to talk about because this is not a university course about minimalism. But I would listen and watch John's video about minimalism and like music and minimalism. There's a specific vlog that he has in his Vlogtober series in which he talks about it, and I found it really interesting because I don't know anything about music, so it was really interesting to listen to his thoughts about it. But yeah, I was very interested in the aesthetic aspect of minimalism, but that really didn't translate to minimalism in items. And I think the more that I get older, the more interested I am in like the actual idea of minimalism and owning things that I enjoy and give me great joy. Obviously there's like a lot of privilege wrapped up in like the minimalist lifestyle because you have the problem of owning too many things. And I think a lot of us and a lot of people who like I guess prescribe to a minimalist life forget to look at like the intersectionality of it. Like there's a lot of stuff that is embedded with minimalism, like your social economic status and whatnot. So yeah, I obviously am in a place of privilege to even think about minimalism because that means I have too many things and therefore have the privilege of owning too many things. So that's one part of it. And I really think that's something that we really need to think about when we talk about these things. Oh my gosh, I feel so like, I don't know. This is so different from our usual points of discussion, but I like it. This is something that I would talk to with like friends and stuff, but obviously I haven't been meeting up with friends, so it feels like I'm at a coffee shop with an old friend. So I hope you're having coffee with me right now at like 11 p.m. on like a Tuesday. Anyways, I digress. So that's like one topic that I wanted to talk about. And I think it really feeds into like the stationery community because there's a lot of buying obviously in the stationery community. And this is interesting coming from me as well because I own a shop, an Etsy store. So I am part of like the selling aspect and then the buying aspect. Obviously my shop's super small and I don't like I talk about it in my videos, but like outside of it, like not many people know that I have a shop in real life. So it's actually really interesting. But I think there's a culture of like, I guess, buying on buying new stationery. Obviously no one's like forcing you to buy anything, but Anna from Girl and Quill talks about like feeling kind of left behind or left out because you haven't purchased the new product from X brand or Y brand. And I would see why it would be overwhelming for people who kind of just get really interested with this community and the stationery and the Midoris and the Hobonichis and all the different planner systems. Like it really adds up. And I think that's really important to think about. Like you don't need all of those stuff to create beautiful spreads and participate in the community. I mean, I am obviously a victim of owning many traveler's notebooks, but do I use them all? No. But Would I consider myself a collector? Maybe. I feel like that's an excuse, but I feel like it's something to kind of think about too in the community, like making sure you only purchase what you love and really using what you have. I think that's my main kind of... Whoa, I put my elbow on the printer right beside me and it is beeping, so I apologize. But yeah, I guess that's the main thing that I really wanted to talk about, like making sure you're mindful about your consumption and yeah, only buy things that really bring you joy and things that you really like. So as a shop owner though, don't listen to any of that and buy stuff. I'm kidding. That sounds like the most capitalistic thing you can say. But honestly, like coming from my heart, I really thank everyone that like shops from my Etsy store, because all of that is a labor of love, because as you know, I cut all the stickers at home and it's more of like a creative project in which I get to stretch my creative muscles, because I'm creating things that are outside of my journal. And usually I save all my creative energy for my journal, and like, yeah, it's interesting to flex those muscles in a different way, so through stickers and whatnot. So it's a form of creative expression as well. But yeah, I always try to mention this in my videos, but like you are not obligated to purchase anything from my shop, obviously, because I'm showing it on my videos, but just you watching and like listening to me in like a 10-minute video already means a lot to me, because I don't know, like time is money in this day and age. So yeah, I really appreciate you for even just watching this and even getting this far in this video, because I'm probably going to ramble for a lot longer actually. But yeah, that's one thing to keep in mind, like making sure you're mindful about the things that you purchase. That being said, I watch me like buy a million things. Actually, it's really funny because I had this video planned in my like calendar for a while in my planner, but I've been on the Yoseka Stationery website for like my whole lunch break today, thinking about buying stuff. But then I also thought about like, oh, maybe I shouldn't buy it, but I've been wanting these things for a while and I think I will get a lot of joy and use out of it, so I might as well purchase it. But as it stands, it's still in my cart, so I haven't purchased anything. But obviously I want to make it known in my whole videos that this is in no way, shape, or form like an invitation to also purchase those things. Like, you don't need all those things. Just make sure you are mindful about what you're consuming. And yeah, those are my 2 cents about stationery minimalism. Obviously, if you feel like you need to talk to someone about it and like you feel like your spending is out of hand, you know, always talk to me, talk to a loved one. It's like, I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's still a problem. Like, people like buy a lot of stuff, and consuming and things and buying things can be an actual like problem in real life. And if left unchecked, you might end up in debt. So it's, yeah, I feel like this conversation could go on forever, but like, buy what you love, make sure you use it, and budget. I forgot to talk about that, but always budget for things. I know it seems ridiculous to save like a budget or actually carve out a budget for your stationery, but if you're like me and like really want to purchase a lot of these things, or these stationery items are a little bit more expensive, it's really important to keep a budget, because it keeps you in check. And I don't know, it's just a responsible thing to do, because you don't want to just be buying like $100 leather covers for your notebooks and stuff and not budget for it, because it's a lot of money. It's like it's an investment, so make sure you budget for that. But also, I'm not telling you to do anything. This is just like my 2 cents. Oh my gosh, I feel like I keep prefacing everything and giving you warnings and stuff, but do what makes you happy. I feel like that's the main thing I should stress here. But yeah, that's my 2 cents. Obviously, go to John Rush and Girl and Quill if you want to talk about more of that stuff, because they talk about it much more in depth and are probably more capable at discussing minimalism and the ideology behind that. So go check them out. They're wonderful creators that have been on the YouTube platform for a while, and they have great insight into this community. But let's talk about why we journal. So personally, I journal because there are, well, I guess I journal because there are like three main things that are important to me. Memory keeping is one, and I guess making peace with my reality or my past, as well as maybe it's just two things. Oh, and my creative outlet. So I like expressing myself creatively through journaling. So I'll talk about each one. So I enjoy journaling because I hate forgetting things. I hate forgetting memories. I hate forgetting those little moments in life that make life really fun and interesting. I don't know. I have a really bad memory for like, I don't know, academic things or things that I feel like I should know. But I have a great memory for the most random things that happen in day-to-day life, because those are the things that I cherish the most. So a friend like spilling coffee on their sweater on like a coffee date, or like a student talking about why dandelions are their favorite thing. Like those are things that I like oddly have a really good memory for, and those are the things that I love remembering, because they are the small comforts and the small delights in life that really make like the mundane day-to-day life so exciting for me. And I feel like journaling is one way I can remember more of that. So I am a really big memory keeper. I actually, most of the time, when I'm writing in my journal, it's usually a recount of the day and what has happened, and like small tidbits and memories that I really want to remember from the day. And I actually started art journaling and daily journaling because I didn't want to forget a single thing and a single day about my life in Korea. So you've probably heard this a million times, but back in 2014, I purchased a Midori Traveler's Notebook, and then I moved to Korea, South Korea, for work to teach there. And I stayed there for 2 and a bit years. And I journaled for most of it and started creating videos about my journaling spreads and my life in Korea, like in late 2016, early 2017, I think. And yeah, that's pretty much how it all started. And I never expected any of this to like happen, like having a YouTube channel and like running an Instagram page about my journal. It still sounds ridiculous, and I still can't believe it's a thing, but it is a thing now. And yeah, that's why it all started. But honestly, it all started because I really didn't want to forget those memories. And maybe it's because I'm like a nostalgia hoarder. I like cultivating nostalgia, if you will. Like I like making playlists about like a certain time or place, and like listening to it at that time and place, and then like after the fact like listening to that same playlist like years later, and it transporting me back to that time. I don't know, I'm just like a very big nostalgia and memory hoarder. If I had a pensieve from like Harry Potter, like a pensieve, I probably would be replaying random memories all the time. So that's one part of it. And the second part of it is like making peace with my reality or / past. It sounds really like, I don't know, it sounds very intense, but it's really just my way of like sorting through problems and like talking about things that I have a hard time discussing with others. It's just a way for me to like release things that make me angry or things that make me upset, and also like working on myself in my journal. It sounds really introverted, but I get a lot of like anger and issues out in my writing, and it really just helps me. I know some people journal to escape. I know Mitz and James talk about that, and I feel like part of that applies to me, but it's more of like I don't escape in my journal in my writing. I feel like my writing's always like about the day, or like something that has made me upset, or something like a rant, or just like writing something that I loved or was thankful for the day. But I guess the act of journaling is an act of escaping reality. Like I really get to unplug and like put stickers on things, but it also is a time for me to actively think about things. It's hard to like put my finger on it, because I would say like when I'm writing, I'm very engaged in whatever I'm writing about. But when I'm actually creating the spread, like putting stickers down, stamping things, collaging, it's a very like calming and escaping activity. Like you can kind of shut your brain off at some point. Obviously when like we're making like an intense watercolor painting where there's like a million elements, my brain is definitely on it. I am definitely thinking about every little aspect. But like for the most part, like the way I journal, there's a lot of like stickers and craft paper and like torn things. Like it's very relaxing to me. Obviously it's different day by day, but I would say that yeah, I journal to escape, but also to not escape reality and make sense of my past and my reality. It sounds very cerebral, but honestly, it's just me ranting and making sure I let myself talk about difficult things that I have a hard time chatting with other people with. It also sounds like that I need to see a therapist the more that the more I talk about it. But yeah, that's like one of the main reasons. And the last thing is just a creative outlet. Journaling is a creative outlet for me. I enjoy it. I find myself the most creative when I'm journaling, because it can be anything. It can be a watercolor painting. It can be a collage. It can be a little doodle of a blobfish. It can be anything. It can just be washi strips all over, and that would still be cool. I feel like there's no limits and like no definition to what we can do in an art journal spread. And I feel like it really reduces the stress in me, because I feel like sketchbooks, I feel the need to like produce original artwork, and sometimes that makes me nervous. And then sometimes if I'm just like in a sketchbook, like what if I can't like draw that thing, and it just makes me nervous. But like in art journaling, at least for me, it's pretty like free and open. Like if today I just want to put a whole bunch of stickers down, that's fine. And I really like that aspect of art journaling and creative planning and creative journaling, whatever we're calling this thing that we do. But yeah, that's the reasons why I journal, and I want to focus more on that instead of like purchasing stuff. But that being said, obviously, like I said earlier, do what makes you happy. Be responsible about it though, and yeah, don't go overboard like me in 2020. When was the last time I went to Japan? I definitely went overboard with spending there. But yeah, buy that washi that you've been wanting as long as you use it. Go get that hobonichi as long as you're gonna use it or it brings you joy. I just want to remind you that it's important to enjoy yourself, but also like be mindful of how much you're spending and putting back to the environment. I feel like there's so many layers, but I think that's all I want to say. I hope I didn't sound preachy, but yeah, just do what makes you happy. Buy it if you want, use it, don't hoard it unless you're a collector. It's such a fine line. I feel like I'm rambling, but you know what I mean. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed chatting with me. I felt very, very preachy, so I apologize. I don't mean it to be that way. And I hope you enjoyed just like reflecting back on your own journey. I hope this starts a conversation, at least in your brain. And what am I trying to say? Oh, I hope you reflect on your own journaling journey and why you got started, and like think about those different themes about minimalism and no spend. It's all kind of important. But obviously, that being said, I am not a minimalist, so do your thing. I don't know. I feel like I'm going in circles, but you know what I mean. Do what you love. Ask yourself these big questions. Why do you journal? And I kind of want to know why you journal, so let me know in the comments down below. Honestly, I'll probably have to redo this video in a few years because I'm sure my values and my experiences will change, and that'll shape why I journal. But I feel like it's really good to examine it, and I really thank Bree for opening that conversation up, and Mitz and James and John and Anna for building upon and starting these conversations, because it's really important for us to think about moving forward, especially in this day and age with overconsumption and the environment kind of going out of whack. So yeah, something to keep in mind. Okay, I'm just gonna end it here. I hope you found this fun, if not insightful. If you didn't find it fun at all, keep it to yourself. I'm just kidding. But yeah, those are just some things that have been percolating in my brain. I'll see you all next time with regular journaling content. I really wanted to talk about the different K-pop comebacks, but we'll save that for a different time. Maybe a K-pop journal with me, as well as a little December daily update next video. So look out for that. Okay, see you all next time, everyone. Oh yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and do that thing that you do where you like ring or click the bell icon. Oh my gosh, I'm so hyper right now. Okay, bye everyone.